Not all 3D features are created from sketch geometry. Applied features are added to a model based on the existing 3D geometry that's already been created up to that point. This means that these features modify the geometry in some way, and often have numerical values defining their size. The four applied features I'll focus on in this lesson are fillets, chamfers, the shell command, and the draft command. Fillets replace sharp edges with rounded corners of a specific radius. Chamfers replace edges with an angled face at a specified size. The shell command hollows out a part and keeps a specified wall thickness. And the draft command takes certain faces and angles them inward or outward by a specific amount of degrees. In this lesson, I'll walk through how to create each of these and how they modify the part geometry in different ways, depending on the settings used in each command. If I wanted to remove this flat area, I can replace both fillets with a single full round fillet. To swap this out, I'll edit the fillet feature and change the option to full round. Since a full round fillet eliminates one of the faces between two other faces, I'll need to select all three faces and click OK. Now the radius for each fillet is automatically determined by the geometry, and the flat face is removed from the top of the cylinder. Not only can fillets be used to round off edges to remove material, they can be added as transitions along an edge that adds material as well. For example, if I enable the fillet command, this time by accessing the shortcut menu using the S key, and select this edge that connects the cylinder with the top face of the block below it. The preview shows that material is being added between them. I'll set the radius value to 2 mm and click OK. Chamfers are another feature that's similar to fillets. Chamfers create an angled face along an edge as opposed to a rounded face created by a fillet. Chamfers are often used to break sharp edges as well, but they provide a different aesthetic and are typically easier to manufacture. One function of chamfers is creating a locating feature for objects to slide within a cylindrical hole. This means I want to change the top of this cylinder from having a rounded top face to having a flat face with a chamfer along the inner edge. Instead of deleting this fillet feature and creating a new chamfer, I want to point out that they can be swapped out interchangeably using the super feature functionality. To swap them, I can simply edit the fillet feature in the Design Manager, then click on the arrow at the top and switch it to chamfer. I'll clear both edges from the selection box, and then click on the inner edge. Notice the preview has a sort of funneling effect created by the angled face of the chamfer. This is what I'm looking for to create this locating feature in the cylinder. There are three different chamfer types to choose from. There's distance angle, distance, and symmetric. I'll go over them in this order. The distance angle chamfer type is determined by setting the distance away from an edge and then choosing an angle that extends through the material from that distance. For example, if I set the distance to 1.5 mm and choose an angle of 30 degrees, you can see that the chamfer is beginning 1.5 mm down into the cylindrical hole and then extending up and outward 30 degrees. If this isn't the exact geometry you're looking for, you can click the reverse direction button here, and the dimensions will change to reference the other face that creates the edge. Now the chamfer begins 1.5 mm away from the edge along the top face, and the 30-degree angle extends inward toward the center of the hole. The distance chamfer is instead determined by two distances away from the selected edge. So if I want the chamfer to begin 1.5 mm down from the top edge and 0.5 mm outward from the edge on the top face, those values can be entered here to create that chamfer geometry. And of course, you can always reverse the directions to change the orientation of the chamfer. The third option, symmetric, creates a chamfer with the distances being equal on both sides. Notice there's only one distance value to be entered. This is because this chamfer type automatically sets the distances in both directions to this single value. So if I enter a distance of 1 millimeter, the chamfer starts 1 millimeter from the edge on the top face and the inner cylindrical face. This preview looks good, so I'll click OK. And all the fillets and chamfers I was looking for have been added to the design.